Picture this. It's late at night. You're alone, scrolling on your phone, minding your own business, when you feel it. A tiny itch on your arm. You brush it off. A second later, it happens again. But this time, it's more than just an itch. It's something crawling. And what's that noise? What are those tiny legs? You look down and realize, with growing horror, that they're real. Thousands of tiny spiders crawling all over you. You've heard the stories, you've seen the movies, but now it's happening to you. What would you do? You scream, but no one's there to hear you. Until it's too late. In today's video, we're diving into 5 terrifying spider encounters that will make your skin crawl, your heart race, and your palms sweat. So grab your coffee, stay close, and let's get into it. And by the way, if you're a spider enthusiast, this might not be the video for you. Story 1. Tiny spiders in the hole in the ceiling. I spent a solid weekend playing on my computer a few years ago. I was drinking way too much coffee. Too much energy drink, really living that insomniac dream. My arms itched occasionally, but hey, I thought it was just a loose hair or something, right? But soon the itching grew more frequent. At first I thought I was just losing it, but then I saw them. Tiny spiders crawling on my arms. And they weren't just crawling. There were strings of webs, delicate and glistening in the light. It wasn't my imagination. No, something was there. And it wasn't just a couple of spiders. I looked up and saw a hole in the ceiling, a hole where these tiny spiders were falling from. I grabbed a can of spray and blasted it into the hole. That's when it happened. Hundreds, maybe thousands of tiny spiders poured out like a flood, like a nightmare made real. They covered me, my arms, my face, everywhere. Baby spiders. And it didn't stop. I could still hear them, still see the webs falling. I ran to the window to see if they'd gone, but the hole was still there. That night, I got home from work late, completely wiped. It had been a long day, and I just wanted to collapse on the couch. But as I walked up to my front door, I felt something wrong. A web, thick and sticky, across my face. I pulled away confused until I looked down and froze. There they were. About 20 or 30 tiny baby spiders crawling all over me. Tiny legs tickling my skin. Then I saw them, the parents. The giant ones sitting on my door frame. And I mean huge, as big as my hand. I couldn't even fathom what was happening. I ran to the back door, stripped off my clothes, and jumped in the shower to get them off. But when I was washing my hair, I felt something drop, something heavy. And as I looked down, more spiders, all over me. Baby spiders falling from my scalp like some kind of living nightmare. It wasn't just the baby spiders. There was a bigger problem. The real terror was still lurking. Under the door frame, in the corners, waiting to strike. But the horror didn't stop there. I thought that was the worst of it. I mean, how could it get worse than that? But one night I reached under my bed to grab my phone charger. I was tired, half asleep. My phone was nearly dead, and I had to plug it in, right? But what I found was odd, a squishy sack. I thought maybe it was a toy or something. Maybe a forgotten laundry item. I poked it, squeezed it a bit. But then, biting, I felt it. 100 tiny legs crawling up my arm. I pulled my arm back, but it was too late. Baby spiders, crawling up my skin into my hair. I screamed, and when I looked again, I saw the sack, still there. What kind of nightmare had I stumbled into? Turns out, there was a mother spider living under my bed. A huge, massive creature waiting for its babies to hatch. But it wasn't just that one. There were more all over the house. Story 4, the bedtime surprise. So this one happened when I was staying at my grandma's house. After a long day of work with my uncle, I was exhausted. I collapsed into the old guest bed upstairs, ready to sleep. It was a hot night. You know the kind where you keep flipping the pillow to the cool side? But when I lay back down, it wasn't the cool pillow that met my cheek. It was something soft, furry, and before I even realized what was happening, I felt it. A huge spider on my face. Not just any spider, no, a giant huntsman. I jumped up, flung myself out of bed, and in my panic, it darted away. But where? Where did it go? Was it still in the room with me? Was it under the bed lurking? To this day, I'm pretty sure that huntsman is still in that house. Somewhere lurking in the shadows waiting for its next victim. Story 5, the huntsman that never left. And now, my friends, we reach our final story, where one nightmare doesn't just end, it evolves. Are you ready? One summer night, after a long day, I crashed in the old guest room upstairs. The air was thick, humid. You know that sticky, uncomfortable feeling when the heat's too much? I kept flipping my pillow, searching for the cool side. But this time when I flipped it, I felt something soft, something furry. I froze, my heart raced. I turned on the light and froze in terror. There it was, a massive huntsman spider sitting right where my head had just been. It was huge, its legs spread out like a tarantula, but so fast. Before I could even move, it darted away into the darkness. I jumped out of bed, turned the light on, but it was gone. Where did it go? Under the bed? Behind the dresser? The air felt thick with something watching me. I searched the room, nothing, but as I laid back down, I heard it. A faint scraping sound from beneath the bed. I didn't have to look. I knew. The huntsman hadn't left. It was still there, lurking, waiting, watching me. I grabbed my stuff and bolted downstairs. I spent the rest of the night on the couch, but I couldn't shake the feeling. It was still there, somewhere in that room, watching, waiting, lurking. And I know it's still there today, waiting for the next victim. And there you have it, the 5 most terrifying spider encounters that will make you think twice before getting comfortable again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and check your bed before you go to sleep tonight.